morning, everyone.
Welcome to our morning show, Root Shoots and Coffee. I'm Kirsten.
And I'm Haley.
And so I like to help you guys out with houseplant questions.
And I like to talk about gardening, outdoor. Yes. And so this is just a community forum for us to come on and hang out with people and silence that and get all of our questions answered. Not only your questions, but our questions too. You guys are super helpful. So at any time, put your questions in all caps. And we're going to wait just a few more minutes as we have some people coming on. We had a little hiccup this morning when we were trying to make our live stream, and it made me do two. So I'm hoping people aren't on a different one, but I can't even see that one. Anywho, you know we're not tech savvy. It's cool.
We're really not, though.
At all.
But, we're here, and we like to know about plants. So, yes, and we like to learn from you guys as well.
Good morning, John. How are you? We are doing great. Hello from Central Michigan. Whereabouts in Central Michigan? I went to Central Michigan. Is that where you went?
Good morning, Marcia. Ooh, and remember, guys.
I almost just said, hey, Luke. Kirsten posted on, and I'm like reading up, and I usually just read first names. Yeah. And I went to go say, hey, Luke, it's us. So, hey.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, from Kentucky.
Oh,
welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy. Randy, I still want to live in North
friend.
Carolina. I know.
So today we're going to talk about pests. So remember to, we're still waiting for some people to come on. But put your questions in all caps because I know we all deal with pests. And it's a little different depending on where you're at, outside and everything too, like what you're going to have. So anyways, it's good to know kind of what you guys are dealing with so that we can help with those specific questions, but we'll try to cover as much as we can. Yeah. We were talking about maybe making this a two-parter because there are a lot of pests, especially for our outdoor gardening friends. I
have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you think the weather has anything to do with the intensity of your pest pressure indoors?
I do.
Seasonal changes?
I think that I'm curious to see what you guys think. But for me, I think that I tend to see some more pests in the winter. And for me, it's mostly there's two things that can be for the most part. Okay. Normally, spider mites increase in the winter because your humidity is down. Right. And that's where they come out more at that time and they attack your humidity-loving plants. Yeah. So, while the humidity's down, I feel like they kind of thrive. And then your plants are like kind of dormant or less strong at that time too, so they're more vulnerable. Also, the next one is fungus gnats because people overwater in the winter.
Yeah. Yes. So it creates the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking, this is my own theory, and so I don't know if it's actually true, but we did not have a wild winter this year. It was not as cold as it typically gets. Yeah, we had one rough week, and the rest of it was really mild overall. Right. Temperatures were higher. Precipitation was really low, which is already biting us in the butt this year, because our ground is still hydrophobic because of it. And that, I think, is our reason that the pests are just coming in hot. High numbers.
I believe strong forces. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Outdoor gardening, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's bugs everywhere, so I don't know. I don't know. Even putting houseplants out in certain spots in my yard, I'm like, I know there's a bunch of ants in this area, not putting it here. I don't know. I don't want to bring anything to my house. So
no, I completely understand that. But do you think, anything to do with the fact that our seasons were unseasonably weird? Do you think that plays at all, or mainly just the typical seasonal change indoors? So going from summer to winter.
For me, I really think it's more simple. It's more like the winter was a bigger issue because of humidity and people overwatering. Yeah. However, I'm not as affected by the summer differences.
I get it's indoors, but I wondered the bugs got to come from somewhere. So
it's true.
Chicken or the egg?
I don't know.
Where'd they come from?
So, and people say it all the time. That's so funny. I feel like everyone is always asking, where do houseplant pests come from? And it is kind of interesting. I don't always have an answer. I know sometimes in soil, there's already fungus eggs in certain bags of soil. I've heard of that happening with certain brands. But yeah, otherwise I'm not totally sure. It's such a weird thing to me because I'm like, I don't remember letting you in, you know?
Intruder.
Yes. Oh yeah, do you guys like our title? Anyone?
You know, we work really hard on these titles and no one ever comments on them.
We think we're funny.
We think we're absolutely hysterical. It's the best way to get our day going. Hello, Champ Marley. I'm so glad your tomatoes are doing well. Mine are finally taken off, and I'm super happy about it.
All Things Caroline says, I have thousands of roly-polies. Do they do anything to your garden?
Yeah, they do.
I just thought they were cute when I was a kid. They're like the least offensive.
Does it make you think of that? I'm going to age myself. Something? No, there is a cartoon that we watched as kids.
Yeah, Roly-Poly.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, cute.
Anywho, good morning from Texas. Tammy, how are you? Good morning, Tony. We had some people jump on a little late, so... Oh, you are in Mount Pleasant. Melissa, we could have run into each other. I mean, I graduated in 14, 15. I don't even know anymore. It was a while ago. What's a good white flower ground cover shrub? Yeah. Do you guys know? Julian's asking. I don't know. Shrub?
Because a shrub I wouldn't think of as being ground cover.
Yeah, ground cover, I was going clover.
I was going, the like Dutch white clover cover crop or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's what I was going, but shrub-wise, those are two different types of plants.
Randy says, oh my gosh, I just watched my big monstera fall over outside through the window. Now I have a mess to clean.
Just finish your coffee.
I'm so sorry to laugh at this, but is it windy there? Because, that's the other thing about putting your plants outside. Luckily, I have a very fenced-in backyard that helps with wind when I put plants out. But always look at your conditions because especially if you're putting your pot up on something.
How big is your monstera that thing just toppled over? Isn't your pot heavier?
It could still topple over. I feel like it could happen easy. I don't know.
I've never had a planter outside fall over. And I have those big
people.
Elephant ear.
I'm sorry.
Fine.
No.
I got baby tomatoes. They're like this big. They're coming. Good morning, Linda. How to remove a large infestation of dog's bane hemp. I'm going to be honest, Rick. I don't know what that is. I've never had that.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
It's by hemp, I'm thinking plant, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know how it multiplies, the root system. You could do the natural weed killer that I use is vinegar, Dawn dish soap, and salt, and it burns things right up. But you got to spray it on a hot day, at a hot time, at the root, and and they die pretty quickly.
Message that to me. I have some weed issues, but I discovered that weed whackers are amazing. So I just point and tell my husband where to do it. He does it, and then I pick it up after. And then I try to chow out the roots.
You are going to Hogwarts. You're a wizard. Anywho.
That would be the dream.
That's the dream. You can just point and it happens. Good morning, Wicked Awesome Gardening. How are you?
So their message is very fitting to what we were discussing beforehand.
Mistreated lemon
which
tree.
Also fits into pests, so maybe it's a good segue. But Wicked Awesome Gardening says, the ongoing saga of my poor mistreated lemon tree. I left it outside, and we had an unexpected cold and rainy snail, and all the leaves fell off, and it was bare for weeks. Suddenly it has a ton of new leaves and flowers. Thought they were dead, lol. Okay, well, I'm glad it recovered. That's pretty impressive. But yes, it's so annoying you don't think to check the weather for everything. And as we say this, I realized I left a window upstairs at my house open. It's going to rain, pretty sure. So I'm going to text me.
Yeah, just text him and let him know.
But, so we were just talking about lemon trees right before.
Yeah.
And Haley's mom has a big lemon tree that always seems to struggle with spider mites, right?
Got him again.
Yeah.
Got him again. I burst into action.
What'd you do?
I used a wet soapy cloth first. And I wiped it all down because soap is all I had. And then we sprayed it with soapy water.
We like that.
And we moved everyone else away and we took him elsewhere.
Yes. So that's another
quarantine.
Yes. One of the first things that you would do once you identify a pest is to quarantine your plant. Or if you still don't know what kind of pest it is, I separate it. If my plant is looking sad and I don't think it's a water issue, I always separate it, even if I don't find anything first, just in case.
Because you don't always see it right away. It's not always visible to our eye.
Right. Like when they're just starting. So anyway, I think lemon trees are prone to spider mites, so this is a good way to get into it. Wicked Awesome Gardening.
Yeah.
But, yes, so I had 2 lemon trees.
Okay.
My friend gave me the one, had 1 leaf left on it, had been dealing with spider mites, and she didn't know it. Then I had another one that had them too, and they didn't end well, they just didn't. But I also was trying to figure out the watering technique for them, so that was part of the problem. But they're more prone to it. So there are a couple things you can do with spider mites, but one really good thing that I like to do, and you guys might have seen our post on our Root Shoots and Coffee Instagram. Got a cactus recently that had a bunch of them. But it's good to rinse off your plant. You can get off a lot of the different spider mites by rinsing it. Whether you put in the shower, hose
outside,
whatever. Yeah. So that's a really good idea. So I would do that first, and then you can start treating it otherwise. And if it's a plant that you can wipe down, like you can't obviously a cactus, but you can do that as well, where you wipe it off with a paper towel. Ow. Yeah. Just like the pain. Anyways, that's a good way to start. And then you can either I like to do warm water with dish soap in it, Dawn dish soap. And I don't know, just to cope with fungus gnats here in the office too. I've been putting peroxide with that mix sometimes. But spraying that is always good.
John Samuel says, I planted lemon tree and orange tree, and the ants came to it like Luke to tomatoes. What do I do?
That's cute.
That was good, John. Very good. Ants. Let's chat about them.
Yeah, I'm curious because I don't really know. I assume they chew holes.
I have a quiz for you guys. Let me fold my paper. So, as you guys know, I'm really not tech savvy. Anywho. I don't know how to make all my pictures the same size when I print them off. And I only had so much time this morning, so I'm just going to get closer. Ants in the garden. Are they good or are they bad? Write in your answers. I'm curious what you think. So yes, John. John? Yes, John, I saw your point on it, so I'm glad we're jumping right into ants. They seem harmless, right? Put your answers down here. What berries to grow if you've never grown them before? Honestly, any type of brambling berries. So your raspberries, your blackberries, your black caps. I think they do so well. And they multiply so quickly that you just always got them. Always got them.
Which is nice. Let's see.
Yes, Wicked Awesome Gardening. Nice work. John says they are a nightmare to gardeners. Okay, all right. Ooh, Timothy thought good. No? Okay, if they are not leaf cutters. Well, you're talking about the... Okay. Leaf cutter ants. Yeah, also bad. So, I feel neutral about them so far. I have red ants all over my squash, but they don't seem to be doing any damage yet. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Peonies, yes. They were on my peonies too. You can soak them and they come right out and it won't hurt your peony. Do it in cool water. Ants are not good. Yeah, so I have a similar opinion to some, is that I'm sometimes neutral about them. For me, they're more just a nuisance. But if you ever see the combination that I showed you on the picture with these lovely aphids, ants farm aphids. Isn't that the weirdest thing? On that level. So small.
Yeah, it's kind of
They farm them. And in this regard, they're very bad. Ants will do what they can to keep them alive. I'm not a big fan. If I see them, I get rid of them.
Of ants.
Yeah. So my main protocol for ants is I start with cinnamon and a lot of it. Before I have to go to anything else, and very rare do I have to go to anything else. And fire ants are not good because they hurt. Yes.
It's funny because I also use cinnamon in houseplants sometimes for fungus gnats, and putting it on top of the soil kind of helps with that too.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting because I love cinnamon.
Yes.
You know? And it's actually useful in the garden.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
We love cinnamon.
We love it. You can also cause like an ant war by scooping one nest and putting it on the other, and they'll like fight to the death. So that's another way to get rid of them.
Very interesting.
Yeah. How do you guys handle your ants? Aphids to start farming on my zucchinis. Yes. If ants are there, aphids are coming. So get rid of them.
That's so interesting. Is the correlation that strong between the two that when you see the one?
Wait. Wait. And free the aphids? We don't want to free the aphids, John. They're going to eat everything.
We don't like aphids, so I'm confused. But.
Yeah, confused. DE, yes, Wicked Awesome Gardening. DE works really well on your ants too.
Would that be diatomaceous earth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Diatomaceous earth.
You guys are so cool with your shortenings.
John, soap and pepper, no ants. So do you do like a dilution with pepper in it and spray it, or how do you do that? Yes, Trina, DE works for ants.
Tim K says ants on peonies are good.
Why?
But yes, please put in why, because very curious.
I learned how to get them out for when I do bouquets, but I didn't realize they had a good purpose.
Yeah.
Teach me. Will cinnamon and basil work as the same thing? I don't know.
Interesting.
So I wonder if I put cinnamon basil all within my tomato.
Yeah, if that could deter.
Well, I know what I'm planting tonight.
We do love experimenting in the garden or with
yes.
plants. It's just so much fun and there's so much to learn.
Yeah,
but
I love that.
That's an interesting idea.
Neem oil. I don't personally have luck with neem oil on ants. I use neem oil for other things if I have to, but do you guys have luck with them on ants?
I think if you can use cinnamon instead of neem oil, why would you use neem oil? One smells amazing, one not so much. No.
Fair.
But,
all right.
North Star Prep Star has a question.
Yeah.
We love North Star, so we're going to answer it. Is there a difference between...
We love everyone, so we try to answer.
We love everyone, okay? But, North Star never asks questions. Is there a difference between ants making a pile or just running around? I assume if there was a pile around, it could be more damage.
A pile means there's a queen around, and if I try to relate ants to bees, if there's a queen, they're going to want to protect her. And so maybe they're hard to deal with in a pile. And maybe when they run around, it's like a swarm and they don't have a queen and they're just running crazy, looking for one.
So it does make a difference, though, in damage.
Yeah, and how... I don't know.
As far as we know.
I don't know. That's another one I'm going to have to look into. Thanks, guys.
Which we are thinking about doing this as a part, like having a part 2 to this as well, just because there's so many pests. So if that does happen, then maybe, we can research some of this and come back with it too. We could regardless, but just so you know. You guys. Okay. I'm going to ignore some of this, but...
Yeah. Anywho, so, Kirsten's favorite from the picture.
So this one gave me the strongest reaction. I don't deal with slugs indoor. I know I've had people that have talked about having them in terrariums come up.
Oh, really?
I don't know how that happens, but it happened to
Elle.
That's
my point. Like,
Isn't that interesting?
No way.
Yes.
Like chicken or the egg. Where did that come from?
Yes. So, anyways, yes.
There's a lot of pests that I know what their eggs look like because I'm always looking out for them. I don't... Where did the slugs come from? Are they just born? Is it an egg situation? Honestly, I have no idea, and I didn't think to look at that before I came on here.
I feel like people always ask, and whenever I look up stuff, it's just there's so many vague answers for it.
But yeah. Here, let me. You keep going. So slugs is a big thing that I have had over the our garden help email. Is that people need help with slugs. They have them everywhere. Now, the thing with slugs is they don't love the heat, and so they are typically hiding at that time. So you'll come out to your garden and you'll see someone munching, thank you, on your plants, and you'll have no idea what it is because you won't see your pest. If you come out after dusk, you will find them. So this is 2 of the pests that I know of that we can hunt at night. And the next one we'll get into next week because I don't think most of us are there yet. And I won't spoil it. Anywho, so you can come out at night and see the slugs. Now, when we talk about pests, remember we always want to identify before we treat because you don't want to mistreat.
Right, which can lead to more damage or letting the bugs increase too.
Exactly.
When you think you're getting rid of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always,
that always stinks.
Identify first. So like things you can look for are the damage to the plants. You can look for droppings, anything like that. Any type of webbing, like indoor we have webbing that you can look for. So there's signs that you can find. So I'll have people come up and say, the rabbits are eating my thing, but I don't ever see rabbits. And I'm like, might not be a rabbit.
Yeah.
You know, and often they'll find slugs. So how to deal with some slugs. Get ducks for slugs. Very interesting. We have not ran into slugs at the farm yet, which I really, truly hope we don't. We didn't run into them at all last year.
Oh, that's nice.
Anyhow.
But you can get some ducks.
Get some ducks. Well, Grandpa has ducks at the farm.
Oh, we'll bring them on.
Bring them in.
No. I saw someone say, too, that mushrooms are good slug bait. So I guess the idea is that they'd be attracted to those and you could get them concentrated in an area away from your plants.
Great. So do you inoculate your soil or just like natural mushrooms? Because
how?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, North Star. You said using a black light helps. For slugs? I know it works for something else, but does it work for slugs? Interesting. Anywho.
We all have different methods. It's so interesting.
It's awesome. Beer traps. So you can get like small dishes. I don't have one near me. You know, just like a dipping dish or what have you. And the goal is to put the lip of the dish at the surface of the soil. So you're going to have to dig out a little area. And I've known about beer traps for a long time. And this is the first year I've heard about doing this indentation and lowering it, which makes complete sense because they're not acrobats. True. And so fill your dish with beer halfway up. And then come back and check it in the morning. The yeast in the beer attracts not only slugs, but it also attracts pill bugs, which is another name for
roly-poly-olies. They're cute. So.
Yeah, but they eat things.
I just mean like I was getting grossed out until then. I was like,
okay. Those are fine. So that's a great option for your wood chips and mushroom soil. Chester, okay. Ooh, but wouldn't that bring them into your garden?
Sorry. The black light is for finding hornworms.
Okay, just checking.
Okay.
We were on slugs, and all I saw was use black light, and I was like, no way. Okay, so yes, black lights are for hornworms. We're gonna tackle that next week too. Anywho, you can also do a potato trap, which I learned about this year too. So take a potato, cut it long way, and scoop out the flesh inside, and you make like potato boats.
Oh, this is what would catch me too. I love potatoes. Anyway, it's fine.
How to catch a person in the garden. Okay, take all your potatoes out and put them upside down in like a dome fashion, and it will help. Now this one goes more for pill bugs, but also helps with slugs. Beer trap, more for slugs, helps with pill bugs. Vice versa for potatoes. So those are 2, cinnamon works for a little basil, I don't know. Those are 2 ways to manage your slug and pill bug population.
Which it sounds like a lot of people are struggling with pill bugs this year, so I really hope this helps you guys. And also, you know, when we're doing a different video in the upcoming weeks, I'd love to hear if you guys have tried some of these things and if it worked for you. Or you can comment back on this.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Curious.
Let us know. Salt and slugs. Okay, I was thinking of this too.
I'm not just going to throw salt in my garden.
I know.
It's hard.
Because salt I use in my weed killer and it dehydrates, and I'd be afraid that it would affect my plants.
Right.
As well. So I don't know if that's, have you had success with like no bad ill effect on your plants.
That would be difficult. I guess if you were able to put it directly
Like,
on each slug you saw, it just it'd be a long day.
Lime helps with slugs.
Ooh, salt and lime. This is very interesting.
Margarita.
Yeah, margarita slugs. I'm so sorry.
Stop.
So gross.
That's rough.
Ooh, Epsom salt spray works perfectly for that.
Okay, I could see that because yeah, sure. Does it make them shrivel? That's what I picture.
I know, so I'm kind of scared to see that, but I know. Yes, okay. A couple people I see in chat are asking about
our next
potato beetles. Mm-hmm. Yes, okay. I saw Wicked Awesome Gardening is struggling with them, and
straight from my garden, guys.
This is for you.
Right,
this is from your garden.
It is. This picture is. So you can see the egg sacs over here. And you can see our not friends, the potato beetles, over here. And my garden manicure. Pardon about that. I was in the garden this morning.
I just noticed that. I was like,
perfect for the show. Perfect for the show. It's just always there. Anywho. So this bug, this and the cucumber beetle, which we'll hit next week, they could be treated very similarly. But I'll give them their own spotlight. So it is really interesting to me that evolution has not helped these guys out. I think I brought this up last week.
I think you did.
Their eggs are neon orange, and they are neon orange and yellow.
Just don't hide very well.
No.
It's interesting because I think certain things like dart frogs and stuff, they adapt to being more bright to show that they're poisonous. But I just don't know who these beetles think they're fooling because nothing around is very poisonous. So I don't think, anyway, I don't know.
I'm going to say that next time I go into my potato patch. Who do you think you are? You don't fool me.
So dramatic. I hope Jake is there and is like.
He's going to be like, Haley, leave. Yeah, so potato beetles are a huge nuisance to us. This is a pest that we battle hard. The best way to handle these guys and other insects that wear their have an exoskeleton, hard shell, is to pick them off first.
Yes. North Star agrees with you. Pick those pests.
Heck yeah. There's certain pests that I can like pinch and toss.
Yeah.
I cannot these. Can't do it. They freak me out. So I am more of the bucketed soapy water kind of gal, and I can grab quickly and like dish it in, and they can't get out of the soapy water.
Yeah.
So it works pretty well. The eggs, depending on if my plant has plenty of foliage, if it's like covered in eggs on the underside, I'll just take that leaf off.
Yeah, that's easier.
And fire.
You could technically get them off individually.
Yeah, you can just, if my plant doesn't have enough that I think it'll hinder their chance to photosynthesize, I'll just pull it off, but I just don't like to.
Yeah. Yes, I feel like if you can avoid touching insect eggs, you should.
I'm a big baby. I'm working on it.
I would use like a little toothbrush and just.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, Jake, it's Pesty.
Yeah.
Come help.
It's good to have your brother
this
in the garden with you. No.
Yeah, exactly. It's good. That amidst slugs and snails will crawl right over crushed eggs.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm actually really excited to go back and rewatch this episode for everything that's like coming through. Because there's a lot of things that I'm trying to catch, and they're, give those beetles a bath. Yes. Give them a bath. Like I said, anything that has an exoskeleton works very well to just toss in soapy water. And that way they can't get out. Juicy and crunchy. I know. We got some gardening. I can't do it. And everything that comes out is orange.
Stop.
It's bright orange.
That's messed up.
Just a little brighter than your shirt.
Ew. So yeah, not really into that, but yeah, Wicked Awesome Gardening, I feel like it's talked about having this struggle for the last 2 weeks or so. I know. So I hope that hopefully you can get them under control. It sounds like you're doing the right things. But yeah, I don't know. It's so bad when an infestation just sneaks up on you. It's so much work, but hopefully it can be spotted really easy next time.
Shirley, why do you have lizards in your garden?
Well, when do you have no?
That's also
maybe you should have out.
You may. I don't know. I think that would. Oh, scurrying. Nope.
They're so cute. I don't know.
They are cute when I know they're coming. I just don't like to be startled. And I think they would startle me.
That's true.
I use plain borax on exoskeleton pests. Anyone use it in the garden? You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I just saw a trick for a little bit of water, like a tablespoon of water, and borax for an ant trap. And
I've heard my mom used to do that, I feel like.
And I just picked up borax. And I feel pretty cool about it because it's in a bottle. Because I really try to handpick everything before I use anything on the garden.
Right.
And
it's also the best way to know that you're getting rid of it. You see it happening.
Yeah. And so this is like a trap where it's not actually affecting my soil in any way. Not that borax really will, but, I try not.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen eggs in a couple days. Wicked awesome gardening. You must be on top of it. And get on it early. It will truly help you combat them overall. Mm-hmm. Skinks equal lizards. I don't know what that is. Because Shirley is a genius. Is that why she has lizards in her garden? She says she feeds she says worms, but I think she meant the cabbage lopers to her lizard.
Yes.
Which I do feed them normally to chickens. But
same
no chicken
idea
there right now. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll hit cabbage lopers next week. Someone did have a good point. If you are battling them this week, a quick tip, because picking off is best, run your hands over the leaves and you'll roll right over them. And those guys I can squish and toss. Those ones don't bother me. It's a hard shell that get me.
Yeah, I feel like hard shell cannot do very few things try to squish. But anyway.
And they like the new foliage. So when you're looking for your lopers, look in your new foliage and kind of unfurl some of those pieces. Do you like my keyword I use there? Vocabulary. And you'll find little babies in there. And they can be like the size of a grain of rice. So
yeah, it's interesting. There are actually some pests that attack new growth more than old growth. But
just fresh.
Yeah, it's just, So it's a good thing to keep an eye out on, especially because you want those new leaves to look so beautiful. You might notice it easier too. So it's kind of a nice thing in a way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Silver lining, I guess. It's not that nice, but.
Eek, Chester. The worst is when you give away a bag of greens with slugs in the bag. Yeah, that would be bad. So give your greens a very quick salt bath. It doesn't need to be long. It's like 30 seconds. And as soon as you get them in there and you switch them around, the slugs will start coming up because they can't handle the salt. And then take them right from there and put them in a cool wash bath and rinse them very well. Spin them. I usually rinse them one more time. Spin them. Done.
It's so funny because that made me think of this too. I heard a tip from Grandma Cindy about when you're harvesting grapes and you soak them in cold water so that the worms come up and float out and then you can throw them out. Here's my thing. If I see that happen, I don't want to eat the grapes after anyway.
Because what if there's a straggler? So just eat the grapes?
Yes, and that's how I feel about the slug thing now.
No, I can handle eating a tiny little worm in a grape or a strawberry. I cannot handle a slug. I will not eat that.
No, I will not eat that.
Right? Or is that a snail? That's a snail. Darn.
It's fine.
Darn.
Anyway, so I guess you just have to separate yourself from the bugs and just really clean your food.
Mr. Lively asks, would you know how DE or cinnamon affects honeybees? You know what? I don't know, and that's something I definitely should know. Yeah. I haven't really used it on the farm yet this year, but my honeybees are there. So
interesting. Yeah, that'd be a good thing to look into.
I'm going to go look into that. Mm-hmm. I'll come back to
it. It is good to know like what you're using and how it's not going to only affect that pest, but the plants around it. And even if it was fine for the plant that you're using it on, I would check anything surrounding it too, because you have to think it's going to spread a little bit. So just something to keep in mind as well.
That's a great point.
Research.
Yeah, and it goes with like the permaculture way of growing. Mm-hmm. Everything plays a role in the whole rotation. So yeah. Definitely. Mm-hmm.
I love Chicken Patty saying chickens are bad in the garden just because of your name. It's funny to me, but
it's true. Okay, those of you who have ducks, can you let your ducks go through the garden? I heard your ducks can go through and they'll eat pests and not your plants. I'm about to hire my grandpa's flock of ducks and have them go through the garden if they won't eat my plants. But I need to know from someone who has tried it. Moss,
What?
plants, and rosemary.
What?
They like my cinnamon basil, though.
So and Chester County News says cinnamon would keep away beneficial snakes. But
Oh, that's good to know, too.
it's so interesting, again, because while cinnamon can be so helpful, yeah, there are certain things. Although you don't want to see too many snakes. But it is interesting. Like, you have to think about everything that it could affect. So, even if someone in our chat or one of us says, like, something is going to work really well for you, I would still look into what it might be affecting specifically to your other plants that maybe we don't have, or any pests or, like, helpful things that you have going on that we don't think of,
So, Mr. Lively, I think this is to you. Wicked Awesome Gardening says it does. So I'm thinking it does affect honeybees. Use sparingly and keep away from flowers. Very interesting.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
That's about the D. Okay, interesting.
I haven't used it yet, but I was right about to. So I'm going to look into that further. I'm so glad you guys brought that point up. Chickens will scratch, ducks will not. But will they eat my plants?
Right. So I feel like the ducks might be a good option, actually. So far, I haven't heard anything bad. So that could be a viable option if you have them. But now you have another thing to take care of. So
worms on your raspberry leaves. What kind of worms?
Yes.
So this is one of those points where you got to send me a picture, and I would be happy to try to figure it out for you. So if you have a pest that either we have not gone over yet today, which we will be hitting a ton more next week, or you have a pest that is so new to you that could be new to me, don't kill my honeybees. Okay, I need to. Great Lakes Honey, saving the day. I need to look into this before.
Oh, and I trust them based on the name. Great Lakes Honey.
Yes.
They probably know a thing or two
Seem
about
legitimate.
bees.
Yes. Which I do have a bee meeting tonight, so I will also be talking about it there. So I will come back more answers. Anyway, for the questions and the photos, send them over to gardenhelp@MIgardener.com.
You can also, if you want, put them into the Instagram messages if that was easier.
The only reason I don't suggest for ours?
Yes, ours, not the MIgardener.
Okay. That made me know.
No.
I don't suggest using the Instagram and Facebook messengers just because those don't get hit quite as often as I answer the Garden Help email.
It's a lot hard to keep up with.
Yeah, we just have so many forums.
Yeah.
But you can message us in the Root Shoots and Coffee, all spelled out, Instagram, and that's just Kirsten and I, so we'll tackle that.
Yeah, yep. So we like to help you guys with that as well, but we also do try to look at your comments on the video. So you can always put in the comments too if there's something you want us to talk about next week. But if you want to send pictures, the email is probably the best way.
John Samuel, I would like a giant horned toad. Can I have one? He said he'll eat all the bugs, and that's a fact.
So we do like that.
Yeah.
A little help in the garden, it's always nice.
Yeah. So I brought home a plant from a nursery. I did not... So this was my first year growing seeds on, like starting from seed on the magnitude that I started on. And so there were a few things that I just didn't get to, which is cool. I grew most of our garden from seed. And so I picked up tomatillos from a local nursery. And I was like, taking them out of the pot. And my hand just went across. I was like, oh, a slug. And I looked a little closer. It was a toad.
Oh my gosh.
He was nestled in the soil, wrapped in the fruits of it.
That's
I was like,
so cute.
It was actually, it was
a lot
very
better
cute.
surprise than a slug, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Much more welcomed. Voles, get a cat.
Oh,
it helps.
Yes. Well,
moles and voles, get a cat. We will talk about those more next week. I will definitely add those to the list. So anything that you guys, any pests, so 4-legged, 2-legged, buggy, whichever's you would like us to hit. Either message us here, message us on Instagram, which is probably the best, at Root Shoots and Coffee, all spelled out. Send your pictures if you need help right now over to gardenhelp@MIgardener.com, and I will do my best to help you there. But pictures, and tell me all about what you're doing. You're watering, you're fertilizing, everything.
And as far as houseplants go, I know we only talked about spider mites really today, but next week Haley and I are talking about covering aphids both in the houseplants and outdoor in the garden. So we'll talk about that too. And I'd like to kind of talk about maybe mealybugs with you guys. I feel like we've beaten fungus gnats to death, but if you have more questions on that, we can cover that next week.
And toads are the key. Oh, I'm going to find myself a
beneficial
horned toad.
Nematode.
Did you see any special care for a spotted begonia? She just got one yesterday.
So they're cute. I have a begonia maculata, which is got the big white spots. There's some smaller spots or pink, whatever. But I don't really give it too much extra care. I just water when the top couple inches of soil are dry. I treat it like my other houseplants. They can deal with lower light conditions too, so I do have it on a lower shelf where it still gets sunlight. I find that begonias, I personally feel like maybe a little bit of extra humidity is good with them, so mine is not too far from my humidifier. So I'd recommend that as well. It's something that everyone thinks about, but they have thinner leaves. I feel like can crisp a little easier. So I would make sure you keep a consistent watering schedule with letting it dry out in between and keep the humidity up to avoid those crispy leaves.
Cool. White flies, we'll touch on that next week. We can do that. Katie, I totally want to hit this first. Your comment and go potty in the soil is the first comment I saw, and I was like, ooh, that's a controversial topic. And then I saw the one before it saying that they eat your plants, and I realized we're probably talking about toads or something. And I was like, oh no.
Yes. Out of context, it's very interesting.
Chant Marley, you are awesome. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. We really appreciate it. It's really helpful for us. And then North Star had a quick question, I believe. Do you think we're finding more this year with the heat and drought? Yes, I think all of these weird seasonal issues we're having, so the warmer winter, less precipitation, the heat, because we completely skipped spring, just went to heat. I think they're coming in earlier than before, and the drought is no help to anyone. I mean, rain's a good thing because it'll knock bugs off too, and it just
it keeps up the flow, and so I feel like you have less room for pests to get too out of control.
Yeah.
So this year we're just experiencing a little bit of drought. I feel like last year we hit that point though too.
We did have a drought, but our winter wasn't so weird.
Right.
So we had water before the summer, and now we are consistently in a drought from last summer to now.
Yeah, I'll still take less snow, but I understand.
No,
I understand your pain.
Please stop it.
Anyway.
Okay, guys. Christina, you're late.
Sorry.
You're always late.
You can always watch it after, and then like we always say, you can message us your questions, email them at gardenhelp@migardener.com, or put it in the comments. But I'm sorry. I know it's hard for everyone to be here at the same time,
but we are also so happy that you guys even jump on at the end to try to catch a bit. Share this with your friends who are battling pests right now. Like this video, it's really helpful for us. If you guys are not subscribed to our newsletter, please go on MI and do that, because I'm doing a deep dive into pests for the next couple weeks. I'm doing 4 or 5 pests on each newsletter, signs and symptoms, when to spot them, how to treat them, etc. So
I like that.
Sign up for our newsletter, because those will be coming out for the next, for sure 3 weeks, might be 4, depending on how many I have. And I am going to have Kristen do this, even though I'm just telling her now because I thought of it this morning. She is going to do at least one houseplant pest on each of those weeks.
Oh, on your...
Yeah, on the newsletter.
The newsletter. Yeah. I was like, we're talking about
so that way we're hitting everyone. So, join us.
There's a newsletter.
There is a newsletter. Yeah, absolutely. If you go onto MIgardener.com, let me see exactly where it is, because I haven't done it in a while, and then we'll leave you, I promise.
I want to say it's on the upper right.
I know.
But
I think so.
It's different depending on what you're on, too.
You have to go on and make an account, and then it'll allow you to
it'll email it to you.
Yes,
so then
you'll be connected to it. If you're having trouble with it, again, email me, call us at the shop. We will get you hooked up to the newsletter. Yeah. I'm the one doing those as of late, and there's a ton of good info coming in them. So and it's a good way to stash it away. So make yourself a folder on your email. with like tips or something. That way you have a quick source to jump back to. Videos are great, but then you have to like figure out where it was said.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. So yeah, sign up, call us, do something. I'll get you all the info that I can.
Yeah. But
I think we're done.
for being here. And, we'll be here next week at 9:30. Put in the comments what you'd like to hear about in the future. Next week will be pests, so you can put in comments with questions for that. But
yeah,
thank you for being here as always.
Yeah, thanks guys.
And remember to thumbs up the video, and we will see you next week.
Christina, we're going to talk about vine boards next week. They're also on my list. So come on next week or shoot me an email at Garden Help, and I will try to tackle that for you this week. But yeah, this was fun.